Jordy Summit.
Oh, I was getting ready to read that.
Okay,
one.
do it.
You stole
Language.
it.
Do it. Read it.
He's like, when are we going to get you guys in a deer stand?
Yeah, and
I'm ready.
I'm trying. Hey, Jordy.
And by the way, the official Buck Commander replied to that and said, I want to know this too.
I am so ready.
I've never been, but I'm all in. I would love to do it.
I know what a great song is. I don't know what a hit song is, but I know what a great
Well,
song
there's a difference, yeah.
It's just kind of funny. Like when you see that come across the pitch sheet and says looking for great songs, you can just leave the great out.
Radio hits.
I think we all know.
I know.
Like, just say looking for songs because we all know it's got to be great or it's not getting recorded.
M.K. Fredericks.
Oh, I like that. That's a good one.
You were going to go to this one?
No, yeah, read that one. That's great.
It says music question. When Tully Kennedy makes a mistake on stage, who does he look angrily at to displace the blame, Jack or Kurt?
The Try That in a Small Town podcast begins now.
Try that in a small town. Here we are, another episode from the Patriot Mobile Studios. This is Try That in a Small Town podcast. Yeah.
Thanks, Jake.
We got
Thanks,
Wade in the crowd tonight. It's nice to see you again, Wade.
He's back.
Yeah, great to see you.
But here at the
Slimmed
table,
up a little. He slimmed up a little bit.
Here at the table, we got TK, we got Kalo, we got Thrash. I'm Kurt. As I said, this is the Try That in a Small Town podcast. We're going to have some fun today. We put out a little post to see if some people had some questions. Neil, you said you were at a show the other night and people want to know. They want to get behind the curtain.
They do. I asked a lot. Everybody at that show that me and Kalo played, it was sold out. I don't know, 10, 15 people there?
Yeah, I think you got it.
No, I think it was a couple hundred at least. It was a little private show, And every one of them, most every one of them in that room follows our podcast. And so I was talking to him. I go, well, greatest, what do you think? What do you think? What do you want to hear? I mean, what's some of the stuff? And they want to hear a lot more of behind the curtain stuff and the music about what we do.
Okay.
What you guys do. More so you guys, because we have questions for you too.
Yeah.
And our lives are kind of, boring.
No.
When you're on the road.
I can't stop looking at your glasses, though. They're kind of up here. They're not even over your ear. It's like, okay, there you go.
Well, what happens is when I put them up here, it's so much more comfortable. These right here, like, pinch my head. So I put them up here.
See? Inquiring minds.
Does it look terrible?
Yeah.
Behind the curtain.
No,
yeah, that's
fine.
behind the curtain. Kalo, you said you did see something that you thought would be a good question.
I thought it'd be a good question. I like the questions that interest me about you guys, and this is a cool question. So it says, are we reading the names or no?
Yeah.
Just Ed Frank Kovic.
Oh, the Ed's our guy, right?
Okay, so Ed's our
he's
guy, right?
He's our super fan.
But a really good question. So he says, when you guys wrote Try That Small Town, I know it started with Kalo's walk and anger.
So this is about you.
No, it's not.
Okay.
From watching TV, and then he called Thrash. He goes, how did the process go from there? Did the music come next? The lyrics? How did the great guitar intro come about?
Thank you,
well
Ed.
as all the Kurt intros, Tattoos on This Town stands out, and his solo. So out of that, what'd be cool is like that part, like the intro lick to Try That in Small Town or Tattoos, like.
So do you want to know something interesting about that? I don't even know if you guys know this. So, after you guys had the idea and you wanted to make sure that, Tully and I got involved and helped in the process. So as we started making the track for this song, I put what I call a placeholder lick there.
What's that mean?
It means just something to get us going. So I'm just going to put down something, and that's just going to get the process going of building the track for the song. Tully was there, and he's like, oh, my God, I love this lick. And I said, no, that's not the lick. That's something to get us through to get this thing going. He's like, no, that's the lick.
It's usually the magic.
He goes, no, that's the lick. That would have never been there had Tully not said, that's the lick.
Well, it had this, what I loved about it, and musically, a lot of that was taking the great message of everything and wrapping it up into something that we would do musically to make it really, what does this message sound like? And it had a little bit of that like Skinner-y kind of thing to it in a good way. Like that Southern rock, tough thing that sounded, and I actually love the lick that Kurt came up with. It just sounded tough. It sounded like the song. It sounded like the message, and that's just that whole process was so. I'm getting goosebumps actually because that whole process from we talked about this before, but when Neil, I'll never forget it, first message the idea and some verse lines and some melody, and so it's like holy crap. It's almost like sometimes when that happened, it's a God thing, like brought us all together, and it was like a beautiful thing. Like it's the whole thing was.
But with Tattoos on This Town was, if I remember right, that lick was on the demo, wasn't it?
That was Wendell.
Okay, so that was Wendell.
Yeah, that was actually the first song. Wendell bought a brand new Les Paul, and that was actually the first work kind of demo thing he did at his house, and he did that lick on that Les Paul.
Okay.
Tattoos on This Town. That's the first thing he ever played on that Les Paul.
Yeah, so for people listening, when we cut a record,
Wendell's a great guitar
there are
player.
demos for, the writers do, and they let the producer and the artist hear it. This is their pitch of the song. And sometimes, and a lot of times, there's something so good about the demo, including the intro lick, that we just kind of copy or make it ours. You know, we took that and put it and played it how we would play it. So, but that was there originally.
That was the same thing that happened to Fast Cars and Freedom. Wendell came up with that guitar lick. Oh,
that was Wendell's too?
Yeah.
Okay.
And he played it to me over the phone. I go, oh, that's so cool, man. We need to write a song around. And it started with that. And I remember Joe Don trying to figure out how Wendell played it on the demo.
Really?
And so I think he called Wendell and said, what are you doing right there? It's like one string didn't move and the other string was moving down. It was like octave.
He's got a drone note.
Yeah, exactly.
It's great. It's crazy how many you just be sitting around. People ask, I know they ask all of us, like, what's the process like? And it's like, you never really know. Because I remember,
it's always changing.
Me and Kurt wrote a song called Seeing Red. Remember Seeing Red for Dustin Lynch? And
that was a Tully lick.
I was literally sitting upstairs trying to think of, well, we're going to write something tomorrow. What are we going to do? And I was literally sitting there just messing around. And my point is, like, it can be something like that, or it might be a title, could be a quick melody thing, could be a guitar thing, but it's
power walk. Could be prayer walk.
Could be a power walk in tights. You just don't know.
No tights. Just regular stuff.
Compression pants.
Yeah, it's one of those stories.
It pushed all the blood to your brain.
Moving on.
Wait, I don't. Not so fast.
We don't
to
need
move
to talk
on.
about that.
Okay, go ahead.
But the second part was just kind of a compliment to all of us. He was
Read
asking
that.
about singles off Highway Desperado, but he said, "What would you pick?" And he said, "My first choice would be Rather Watch You." And he said, or his second choice is Tough Crowd, which all four of us wrote both those songs, which is really cool.
Wow. I like this
and
guy.
Jesse Alexander on Rather Watch You.
Hold on, is this Ed?
Yeah.
I knew I liked Ed.
Oh, he's my favorite.
God, I love you, Ed. Good choice of material, bro.
The questions are fun too, because it's good to know what you guys actually are curious about out there.
1,000%.
Here's a good question. Wait,
What do you got, bud?
what are Jason, Kurt, and Tully's favorite song to perform on stage?
Is that part of the? Okay. Did you just come up with that, or is
And
that
it came
I
from
think that's
Life
just
is a
Neil's
Bath.
question.
Life is a bath?
Life is a bath.
We don't.
And no pressure on your answer.
Well, right now, I think that goes.
It goes without saying.
Right now, it's trying out a small town for numerous reasons. The anticipation of it, the
No doubt
crowd
on that.
reaction. It's also really, really fun to play. That one right now. But there's always some that I love every year, and to be, honestly, like I've always loved playing Flavor States. Always look forward to that one in the set list. Always, I love the way we start that thing. It's big and huge, and always look forward to that.
I love playing that song in the writers' rounds.
Yeah.
I love it because I
Try
love
that?
And that,
No, Fly Over Stage.
Fly Over Stage.
Everybody
I'm
So
sorry.
try that for
loves
sure.
that
song.
We close with that one.
Yeah.
But it's always fun to play Flower States and tell the Joe Biden story. when he wanted to
Everybody
use it on
loves
his
that.
campaign deal.
That's
yeah.
one of our most viewed clips, by the way, on YouTube. Is the Joe Biden flyover state story.
Well, and Neil will always, like, before he starts a song, he say, "What's the first line?" And then I'll throw it out. He goes, "Shut up, I got it."
It's an amazing song. Hey, this is a good question, and I'm sorry, it goes probably to Tully and me. Let me put on my. Maybe we can get a sponsor from like Foster Grant or something.
That'd be
Nick
great.
Bruno 17. When you guys are on the road touring, but there's also a big game on, how do you watch or how do you manage to watch?
Good question.
It's a great question.
I instantly have a core memory.
Okay.
Instantly. 2003, October 2003. We are in Iowa.
Oh my gosh.
Core memory.
Yeah.
Kurt's home state.
Kurt's home
That's right.
state.
Give it to me, Iowa.
Kurt's home state. We were in Iowa. Game 7, ALCS, Red Sox, Yankees. And
And you have to set it up that the Red Sox have got forever.
for anyone who knows
Disappointing
anything about
and
baseball, we're up to, 90 years pretty much of no
Yeah.
championships and getting faces bashed in by the Yankees on a regular basis. Anyway, I remember specifically on that game, we took the stage and the game wasn't over yet. And you got to remember, this is before like iPhones and stuff, right?
Oh, right.
So, Red Sox lost that game in heartbreaking fashion, of course. The walk-off home run, Aaron Boone. I remember finding out that, like, old school text message on a flip phone, core memory of pain. But today it's a little easier. We have our monitor engineer will talk into our ears during the show and give us updates if there's a big game on.
It's not many people would believe that or understand it. Or there will be times if there's a game that we really want to watch, or we have like money on DraftKings wise.
Yeah.
We will record it. Everybody turns off their phones.
Yes.
We go in after the show and we watch.
Yeah.
Okay,
It's hard to do, right? Because in the age of technology, it's like people are saying, "Oh my God, did you see what happened in the Georgia?" Whatever.
It is tough too, because it's like we all love sports and we all like to occasionally bet on sports.
Sometimes.
So interesting, but yeah, it's a thing for sure.
It's a thing.
That's a good question.
It is. You want me to go to another?
Yeah.
Geordie Summit.
Oh, I was getting ready to read that.
Okay,
one.
go
Shit.
for it. Do it.
You stole
Language.
it.
No, do it. Read it.
No, he wants
You
to.
already got your glasses on.
No, thanks. He's like, when are we going to get you guys in a deer stand?
Yeah, and
I'm ready.
And, I'm trying. Hey, Jordy.
And by the way, the official Buck Commander replied to that and said, "Yeah, I want to know this too."
I am so ready.
Seriously, I think it's going to help your anxiety and your worry and your problem you have, your twitchy leg.
I've hunted when I was younger.
I've never been
in a long time.
I've never been, but I'm all in. I would love to do it.
I may need to break y'all in with turkey hunting this spring.
But hey, no, this
break you in easy.
I don't.
It's
I don't want to
okay.
sit there in a turkey blind and.
Well,
No, it's
the
exciting.
The weather's better. It's not as cold.
I like the cold.
He does,
do.
Look,
and which is going to
do?
bring us to
Okay.
another
Hey,
question
Jordy,
later.
Wait.
look, I'm working on them, Jordy. I am. I'm working on them.
It's always a time thing.
But
I'm ready.
listen, it's got to be filmed if we do it. We got to be on.
Hey, and
the
he's
Buck Commander
he's
show.
trying to recruit Jason to do this too. So
Yeah.
I know Jason's probably laughing his ass off at the thought of you two.
He's been.
I've tried to get Kalo. Kalo, I don't know.
Can we have our text carrier
I'm
guns for
not
us?
against it.
Can we have our text
Oh, see, that's
Yeah,
carry our
loaders.
guns?
I'm sure I'll be carrying all your shit.
I don't want to be handed an unloaded
How much stuff
gun.
is there to carry?
There's not a lot to carry. You don't even need to worry about
You
that.
got your hunting
Just-
tech.
Hey Neil, do you
Carry
bring
our stuff,
snacks? Like what do you?
Yeah,
you
absolutely.
definitely
What do you
bring
got?
some
What do you got
snacks.
packed in your?
It depends on where you're at. I mean,
Beef jerky.
yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
whatever you want to bring, it's fine.
Do you have to like spray fox urine on you and stuff like that?
You can.
for deer?
You don't have to. You can.
Yeah. I
Hide
wonder what
your
that smells
scent.
like. Smell like regular urine, or is it more gamey?
Have you ever smelt deer urine? You ever smelt doe and heat? You ever smelt?
Yes,
You ever
I
smelt
have.
coon urine? Fox urine. I
don't know if I've-
hideous.
Okay.
coon urine is hideous.
This is the content we
and
need.
people put it on their boots, and I don't ever put anything on. I hunt the
Your
wind.
natural odor?
You know
Yeah.
what? That's most of that stuff's bullshit, and we just lost all our potential sponsorships for that. And
He didn't mean that.
but I hunt the wind, and I'm going to take you boys.
What time
We're
do you
gonna
get
do it.
out there? What time
Maybe
are
we can
you
get
done?
maybe we can get Aldine involved. We'll
I love
down.
to go. I would
so
actually love
early.
to go.
It's so early.
I want to hunt with
Yeah.
a pistol though.
You can do that.
Yeah.
I just bought my brother a pistol
What is
You can.
for his 50th birthday that shoots a 30-30 round. It's a pistol, and it's pretty cool. We hadn't shot it yet, but we'll bring that one. I
think I do
you can
want
kill
to
a deer
hunt with
with
a
it. You can put a
pistol.
scope on the
Neil,
pistol.
what time do you got to wake up?
We'll just stay up, buddy.
Okay.
Yeah.
You
We'll
can,
roll
it
it right
depends.
on.
If you want to go hunting in the morning, we're getting up early.
Like what's early?
3.
When the time changes, I get
3?
up. No,
Be early.
No,
You got-
I just got back from Illinois, and since the time change, I get up at about 4:15.
Hey,
That's
I'm
the
going
same.
to go off the Instagram questions. And since you mentioned time change, I am a huge opponent
Yeah.
of ending daylight savings time.
Yes, it's not necessary anymore.
It is not necessary.
I don't even
and
know
I
what
know
it's
I'm going to get
for.
some pushback
Anymore, I don't know what
from
it's
my
for.
friend. We disagree on so little, but this is one of those things.
I don't mind it during hunting season.
This is my favorite time of year.
I know it
Last
is.
Sunday we had the glorious day.
It's awful.
What do you mean?
It's awful. It's dark at
depressing.
4:30
I love
p.m.
I love it.
Why do you like it?
I don't know.
He
Those are
likes,
my
believe
moods
me,
But
he
sometimes.
likes,
it also depends on what your hobbies are and what you do for a living. It has a lot to do with that. Like, I don't mind daylight savings. I don't like it getting dark. I don't mind it getting dark at 5 during hunting season. I don't mind at all.
I think it reminds me of, if you really want to know, growing up. I think I grew up in, the Adirondacks and the tip of New York State, Northeast. So this time it gets dark 3:45, 4 o'clock. So I think it just reminds me of growing up, maybe a little bit too.
and maybe that's it with
Well-
me because I grew up in Iowa. It's more on the western side of Central Time. So in the summer, it's light until 9 o'clock.
And I love the
Yeah.
chilly weather. So I think it's a sign of the cold weather. Fall's coming, which is my favorite time of year. Always has been. Fall, Thanksgiving,
Yeah.
football. Get dark early. Bring it on.
No, I
hate it.
But
Hate it.
when it comes down to playing golf,
That and
you go.
the main reason I don't like,
I like
it getting
longer
dark
days.
so early because it gets dark around 5. I get home from work at 5:30 and my wife says, "Where have you been all night?" I'm like, "It's 5:30." She goes, "Oh, well, how was your day?" It just seems like you're so late coming home and it's dark and everything.
Isn't it nice? So when it's dark early, it's getting chilly.
No.
Christmas trees time almost.
Well, that's a different thing. I do love the Christmas decorations.
He
that are
just
up at our
waved at
house,
you.
by the way.
My tree's up now, by the way.
Yeah, our
So,
I think
tree's
he's
up.
waving him
ours
off.
is too.
Anyway,
Do you have any hunting connections in Iowa, by the way?
Well, people say that's one of the best places to go,
It is
right?
for
It
big
is?
deer. It is. Yeah.
It
It's
is.
hard to get. It's hard to get drawn there, but you have any?
Yeah,
connections
yeah,
up
let me-
there?
let me see
Has
if we-
Aldine ever asked you about that?
He hasn't. He's
Really?
he's got his own connections.
he's not going to go to Kurt for his hunting
Yeah, he
connections.
doesn't need me. M.K. Fredericks.
Oh, I like that. That's a good one. Read
You were
that
going to
one.
go to this one?
No, yeah, read that one.
It's,
That's
it
great.
says music question, and he tagged you, Tully. When at Tully Kennedy makes a mistake on stage, who does he look angrily at to displace the blame, Jack or Kurt? It's a great question in all senses because if there was a mistake, it'd probably come from me or Jack. But Tully, hey, I will tell you, he doesn't make mistakes.
I know, and I find that hard to believe.
He does not make. You should. He's OCD,
but he's
beyond.
he's also human.
Is he? Is he? He takes it so, and it's not that I don't take it seriously, but
Yeah.
it's
Now,
it means so
what do
much
you
to
call
him.
a mistake though? I need to.
Okay.
Like you
Define a mistake.
a slide. You slow on the slide. You get there late. Are you following? Are you
think-
following Rich? And are you perfectly with Rich?
I think I think what he's asking that our listener is if I hit like a bad note, which I generally
just about bad notes. I know you don't hit bad notes.
part of playing when you're a kid, when you first start learning, it's like that actually is your main job, is to not do that because everyone hears that on
I will
bass.
throw you a compliment right here, and it's from Lana. It's like I don't remember what demo it was, but it was a recent demo that we did.
Lana, your wife.
Yes, Lana's my wife, and she was like, "Oh my God, listen to what Tully's playing." She was like tuned in.
She's sweet.
Like it was like all this. I mean, you don't just play. People need to know that Tully just doesn't go boom, 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 boom.
I mean, he can.
Not that guy.
He can, but he's a very musical bass player.
He's a very musical bass player, and he complements the freaking song.
Well,
and
thank you.
Rich is a musical drummer, and these guys, kind of what Tully was saying, the bass more than any other instrument, you hear if there's a mistake. I have the luxury, if I'm starting to slip up, I go,
now Kurt knows this, though, and Kurt deals with my musical OCD. He's been saddled with that baggage for a very long time.
I'm sorry.
But if you want to know what a mistake means to me, a mistake, if I hit a note that I feel like was out of time, or if I fret a note, maybe I play it on the fret and doesn't ring true. If I don't play a lick as well as I thought I should have in a song, I don't sleep well.
Really?
Mm-mm.
That's the truth, by the way.
Yeah, I
you take it with you that long?
Yeah.
Really?
And if you ask me, if a show doesn't go perfect for me, then I feel like it's a failure.
I get that.
Yeah. And I'm never happy with, all the stuff on the albums. Like all I hear is what I could have did differently, maybe.
I know, but you can't. You got to move on.
You
could be mixing a record, playing a record,
living in
but
this.
it's part of my God.
Because like with Tully, like a different scale, but like even last night, and we played a very small show, like you said, a couple hundred people, and then it's a writer show thing.
You always want to do good. I get that.
So I'd asked my wife, Rachel. I'd say, she goes, "Hey, y'all did great," and I said, anything in particular? Did I say anything bad? I said, did I love Neil enough? Did I love Ashley enough? All the things. I want to make sure that everything was good. And she goes, yeah, everything was good. And sometimes you can tell, if she says, yeah, really good. And if she says it really quick, I'm like, what happened? She goes, well, you talked really fast. And that's the only thing. And I'm like how fast? She goes, like now, like right now.
Yeah, the way you guys process things and the way I process is so different because
I know
that's the truth.
It is so different. If I get up there and forget words or mess up on the whatever, I don't care.
No, but it's part of your bit. It works.
But I don't care because it's not what I do for a living.
It actually isn't part of his bit. I do just think that's Neil.
Yeah, it's like whatever. Care. I mean, but I don't lose sleep over it for sure.
Oh, it'll bother me. It'll bother me to the point where if something didn't go smooth in a song, it could be anything. Just
we need to do an episode inside Tully's brain. I mean,
you don't want to.
You're
going to
need more than an episode.
No, it'd be fantastic.
Hey, there's been times when we've been working on songs.
He's changing the subject.
Look, there's been times we've been working on songs, and Kurt would tell you, I'll be doing a bass part and working on a song, and I'll say, no, it's not good enough. And Kurt's like, dude, I don't know what you're hearing, and I'll be like, it's not good enough, and he's like, oh, dude. And
we get inside
he's the one like Kurt and Rich when it comes down to the core of the music and what Jason does with everything. Like those are my core guys. Like Kurt, Jason, Rich. Like if I don't feel like and that's a high bar. Like I'll tell you right now, I would not be sitting here. This is 1,000% true. I would not be sitting here had I not met, Jason and then Kurt and then Rich and then playing with Kurt and Rich and learning how to be a good bass player. Rich, you got to remember, I was not a schooled bass player. I never went to school. I taught, I learned
you learn
my
organically
family,
through the clubs.
Family played, so I grabbed a bass and I never took a lesson. Taught myself listening to albums. Rich is a completely, he has all those tools of great ears, but he's also heavily schooled. So when I started playing with Rich, I was already in Nashville for a few years, but after playing with Rich, and I was probably 22, 23, that was a kick in the ass.
Yeah,
this guy,
he's a pocket dude, man.
This guy is a freaking.
He's a metronome.
Machine.
He's a breathing metronome,
and he's a pro. He's man. He is, and kind of like to what Tully was saying. I think we all feel a responsibility to each other. I know how Tully is, right? He holds himself very accountable on stage and anything he plays, and that raises my bar.
Yeah, well, he needs to hang out with me a little more.
Hey, so I've been asked this question a lot. It's not in the thing, but it's kind of interesting talking about this. Do you guys ever watch the podcast back? And if so, do you have those moments of like, oh, shoot, I wish I'd have been this, or I wish I wouldn't have spoke too fast? Or does anybody do you watch the podcast back?
No.
You don't?
No. I have.
After this?
I have, but I don't. I'd rather listen to it going down the road.
Oh, well, okay. I didn't mean necessarily watch. Do you listen?
Oh, yeah. I'll listen. Okay. I'll listen to them.
And do you critique yourself during that?
I'm always critiquing. I critique the whole thing.
Yeah.
I critique the whole thing. And I know Kalo does.
Yeah.
And I know you do because y'all are like that.
Yeah, you get little notes, like if you interject, for no reason, like at the time you think it's a conversation and then you look back at it. Like,
no.
I said, wow, that's awesome. Like 3 seconds after the fact and somebody else is already talking. I said, I'm calling Jim. I said, hey, can you take that out? And he's like,
but you know what?
He's like, no, this is live. I'm like, damn it.
I know exactly what you're talking about. However, I feel differently about it. Like, I like the interjection. I think part of what makes this podcast, and people have said this, relatable, is that it's not, I'm going to say something for 2 minutes, nobody say anything.
I know. Right?
And then you say something for 2 minutes. It's like we're just guys hanging out and talking.
I think we do.
It.
I think we do a great job with four of us not talking over each other.
Yeah, I know what I was saying was this.
I think we've gotten pretty good at reading each other and knowing when to interject and knowing when not to. If I don't know anything about the subject, I'm just going to sit over here and drink whiskey, and wait.
That's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
It is cool to think about, though. We're almost 30 episodes in.
Yeah.
Is that where we are?
Yeah. We're new at this, man. We don't even know what we're doing still.
It is. I really look forward to it, though, because I think, and I think what's great is we don't all exactly have the same thought process on things, which I think is totally healthy. We disagree on things. I know we do.
Plenty.
And you have to, right? Good. I mean.
But with the editing thing, it's like, this kind of goes to Rogan. It's why he does these 2 hour. It's why he couldn't get Kamala on. She asked him apparently, okay, so they wanted editorial control. He's like, no, we don't do that. We don't. I mean, it's like what you see is what you get, and we might say something stupid, we might interject, or we might talk over each other, but it's real.
Right.
She'd start like this. I was raised in the middle class.
She was definitely raised middle class. Yeah, I think everybody knows that.
Can I say something real quick? Which I can't believe no one ever talked about this. Yeah. When she said, I was raised in the middle class in a neighborhood where people cared about their lawns. That came out of her mouth. And I said, well, you just overshot your audience. Yeah. People that are hurting, they're not worried about their lawns right now. Mm-hmm. That's not what we're talking about.
No.
And no one ever called her on it. But I think growing up, I know, I don't know about you guys as much, but I know me and Kurt, grew up very, money was.
I mowed the grass.
Not middle class.
Money was.
We push mode.
Non-existent.
Yeah, we did.
I'm just saying, so.
We had a goat.
You remember when we wanted to get a goat, dude?
I do.
They will eat beer cans.
No, we actually, that was our plan. I don't know why we didn't do it, but for those of you who don't know, me and Kurt and Rich lived together in the same house for a very long time.
Way too long.
Way too long.
Ooh, I bet that smells good.
But this house, we lived in 2 of them, and the first one was an absolute shit show. Yeah. But we never, was that the one we wanted to, I think that was the goat.
Second one was the goat.
The second one, though, we upgraded to a family cul-de-sac, which was, I feel bad for that neighborhood still. But we never cut the grass, of course. And we're like, what we need to do? Just get a goat.
Yeah.
Let them loose in the
Way
back.
cheaper.
Get a goat. Get a goat.
Get a
It
goat.
makes you want to talk like that.
Get a goat.
We didn't do it.
No.
Y'all want to talk about nasty? Me and Wade used to live in a dormitory at Middle Tennessee State. We played ball at Middle Tennessee State together. You want to talk about nasty? The football dorm. You want to talk about nasty?
Yeah, we need to get into that.
Yeah, group showers.
Maybe
it was great.
Maybe we'll get to that after the break.
Talking about men showering together after the break.
We are. Try That in a Small Town podcast. We are coming to you from the Patriot Mobile Studios. Hang with us during the break. We'll be right back.
We're so thankful for our sponsor. Original Brands is starting a new era in American domestic premium beer.
Amen.
American made, American owned. Original Glory.
Original Glory not only tastes great, but it's under 90 calories and only 2 carbs. Easy drinker and perfect for the active lifestyle.
Bring it.
Original Glory. It's a veteran-founded company with a deep love of country. Original Glory.
Freedom is worth drinking too.
Join the movement at drinkoriginaLbrands.com.
My name is Glenn Story. I'm the founder and CEO of Patriot Mobile. And then we have 4 principles. First Amendment, Second Amendment, right to life, military and first responders. If you have a place to go put your money, you always want to put it with somebody that's like-minded. Of course. I think that's the beauty of Patriot Mobile. We're a conservative alternative.
Don't get fooled by other providers pretending to share your values or have the same coverage. Go to patriotmobile.com/smalltown to get a free month of service when you use the offer code SMALLTOWN or call 972-PATRIOT.
All right, thanks for hanging with us. This is the Try That in a Small Town podcast coming to you from the Patriot Mobile Studios. God, we love that, the Patriot Mobile Studios.
Sounds good.
Rolls off the tongue.
We're super honored to be working with them. Believe me, we'll get into that a little bit more as we go, but it's a great company. They have great values and great service. So let's get back to some questions. Tully, you said you had one, right?
Yeah. Mike Allard, 22, wants to know, when writing a song, do you guys get writer's block? And if so, what do you do to get past it? Well, of course, I immediately go into panic mode. Instantly panic.
Well, and you might set it up by this.
Even in writing a song, you have that anxiety still?
Everything.
Have you guys met?
Everything.
But it's never been that. I didn't know that.
But I think that question, to me, it would be kind of twofold. Like, he says, when you're writing a song. So that means you're already in a song and you're having writer's block, which is different.
It is. But to your defense, I will say this. I love you.
Love you too.
I want to say
coming?
this. I want to say
What's
this.
about to happen?
No, and Kayla can back me up on this, and you can too. There have been days where I'm like, oh shit, it's gone.
You mean
I can't write another song. It's over.
Oh, you mean you can't write another song?
The
not
creative
just today.
juices have gone, and then you're like, damn it. I have had those days before.
Well, I think people misunderstand that to write a song, you have to be.
Took me there, though.
I think people misunderstand too that it's just a creative process. Oh, what's your creative process? Well, when you write every day, it goes beyond just being creative. It's your job. So
sometimes the tank's empty.
Well,
sometimes
it is. So what do you do at those times?
You punt and you go play golf, or go hunting, and then come back tomorrow.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it's what you do. You know, every day's different.
Kayla, what about you?
Mine, again, we're kind of talking about like once you're in the process of writing something. I think generally if we're in process of writing something, most of the time we'll finish it, but you do kind of get stuck. But for me, like being mainly an idea guy first, that's where I feel like I can add value. And if I haven't thought of a good idea in a while that I throw out to you guys or whoever you're co-writing with, that they say, hey, that's a cool idea. If I'm not validated, if I'm not coming up to anything, I get really, really low, you know, and then you feel like, so what I do first is probably what Tully does to himself is you beat yourself up and say, you suck, man. You suck. You've gotten lucky. You've gotten lucky for years, you know. And so I'm going down to music. I'm going down to Music Row to write a song and go ahead and live out the fantasy of being the fraud that I've always been, you know? And so I get really down in a hole for a little bit until you keep working, you keep thinking, some at least decent idea comes to your mind, and that builds your motivation back up, and that gets you back on a little bit of a roll. But I do get down. If I'm not coming up with some gold, I get down.
I will say one thing that has the last few years, I don't say few years, but a couple years, has been kind of good. It's like been able to really honestly tell ourselves if we're on something good. I find myself pulling the plug on things if I know that it's not a hit, or not a hit, but something that's going to be good that I feel like is good. I'll just pull the plug on it. We do that a lot. Like if we get on something that's going well, it's that writer's block that he's talking about when you're writing a song doesn't seem to arrive. So even if we have an idea, and we generally usually have hook or a musical idea going, there's been a lot of times lately, especially where if we get onto something, we're like, I don't think I like this. We'll just stop.
You talk yourself right out of it.
Yeah. And you know,
a lot of that has to do with the idea that's brought to the table. It's like when Try That in a Small Town, when Kalo brought that in, it's like, there ain't no writer's block going to interrupt that.
Yeah, that's kind of what he was saying.
There ain't nothing. That sucker, we're going to crack the code on it, and we're going to rock it, and this is what's going to happen. You don't give up on an idea like that. You know?
Yeah, and all ideas aren't worth finishing. Like for us, because we've written so many songs, our goal is not just to write a song that day; it's to write a song that will hopefully be on the radio and make money for our families. That's our goal, or move people or something. If it's just something average, just to get through, just to finish it, there are a lot of times where somebody will say, "Oh man, I totally forgot. I've got a dentist appointment at like 2:00. Can we get back on this? I really love what we're doing."
Yeah. Which is code for let's give up on this.
Yeah,
song.
and generally everybody knows.
You got a new question over there, Tully?
There's a couple.
Something just come in.
Well,
breaking.
Yeah. Avon Check 10. What's wrong with Kentuckians? And why is Paducah, Kentucky weird? That's from the last podcast with
with Tommy.
That's what Tommy said.
Tommy. Yeah. I'm from Kentucky.
Kayla, what is wrong with Kentucky?
I don't know.
That's a Kayla question.
Well, I wasn't there long enough to really assess. I was born there, but after about a year and a half, really got bored with the town, and we moved to Dover, Tennessee. But no, I don't know. I went there every year. I mean, to be a teenager, it seemed normal to me. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the problem, is that it seems normal to you.
Yeah. Well, and in fairness, I was just going to see my grandparents. We weren't around any other Kentuckians, so I really don't have an experience.
I like Kentucky.
I love Kentucky.
You know?
Yeah. Kurt's text from Kentucky. My text from Kentucky. That's what.
Speaking of text, I just saw this question from Gunsmokin'. That's an awesome name, by the way, Gunsmokin'. That's a cool handle. Are you guys using amps on stage or fully in the modeler world? Which for people that might not know, it's like, either using a guitar amp, or there are digital amps now that you just plug into. You don't need to be blowing sound on stage. No, we're fully amps. We are dinosaurs. Everybody pretty much uses modelers anymore, or digital amps that go direct into the PA. That is not us. We are blowing sound tubes, getting red hot on the stage.
It's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
I didn't even know that was a thing. The modular thing. I've never heard of that.
It's kids today.
What?
I hadn't heard of it.
Almost all bands are using digital amps or modelers.
It's weird.
And some of them, though, are like backstage.
It's weird.
Yeah.
Some of the amps are backstage. I've seen a lot of that. Where
that's true.
you can hear there's amplifiers backstage where everybody's kind of gathered, and they're just like, wow.
Well,
that's all you hear.
Yeah.
But that's where some of the guitar players put
Interesting.
their amp backstage.
So y'all are just hearing it in your ear. Like if you're doing that, there's no sound actually on stage at all.
Well,
of course, you're hearing drums and stuff, but
No,
it's just in your ears.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
just where you're hearing
that's, I guess, why people have gone to that too. We have in-ears, which, people, you can sometimes see that you get these molded earpieces that let you hear whatever you want.
What's your mix like in your ears?
You know what it's like.
It's just all you.
All
No.
guitar.
No. I can't play like that because if I heard too much of me, it would.
I've always wondered
It would
that.
take away the attack that I put on the guitar.
Okay.
So if I hear myself too well, this is even in the studio.
Do you have a little bit of everybody in,
of
in your
course.
ears?
Uh,
You too?
I have the least amount of vocals.
sorry,
Jason's
Jason.
in there, but it's not loud.
Yeah.
And then the background vocals I don't have in there.
Yeah, it's tricky having you. The ear mix is tricky, and going from. I remember when we went. For those of you out there, forever growing up, we have what we call wedges on stage, and you just everything's blasting through a monitor coming back at you, and we go to in-ear molds.
That's old school, bro.
Is that how
It's
we all
totally
grew
old
up?
school
Yeah.
because when
Yeah.
you left your side of the stage,
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
no longer could hear your amp or anything that was coming through
Right.
the monitor.
Right.
Yeah. Try being a singer
Yeah.
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 without in-ears and no wedges.
Oh.
And you can't
Right.
hear them. It's like,
Yeah, it's that's how we. It wasn't. There was no
Oh.
other way. That's what we did. And about 2006 or so, when we got our molded ears, and it took a minute to get used to. But now it's great because you can you play tighter shows. You can really hear everything. So good question. Good stuff.
I don't know who else got one, but this one is actually pretty good. Dawn Cole 92. Are any of your wives or children musically gifted? Also, what's their favorite or least favorite songs you've been a part of? So it's two questions. One, I'm going to brag on Tully's kids. They're both amazing and talented. His son is a very accomplished actor, and he's 17.
Mm-hmm.
He's also musician. This kid is a wonder kid. He is incredibly talented.
He's writing some really great songs, and it's fun.
what kind of music is he doing?
He'll do everything. He's fallen into this really. He's an incredible songwriter. His words and his lyrics are just really beyond his years. And what I love most, right now he's writing a lot of almost like a John Mayer-ish kind of stuff. It's really good. But what I'm most proud of is writing from life experiences. At 17,
Great,
and so he pulls from whether it's a girl he might like, or a lot of it right now is songs about going off to college, and he's wrapping that all up into these really cool songs. But it's always fun when you're since they both my kids, but since he was, I mean, I'm not kidding you, Neil. Here's a funny story. Since he could talk, one of the first songs he would sing out loud was "Wide Open."
Really?
He would sit there. He had this little CD player, over and over again, wide open, wide open, wide open.
That's awesome.
And a lot of Night Train, all those songs, but Wide Open was on repeat.
That's awesome.
It is awesome, but it's fun. It's fun watching your kids fall into what they do, no matter what it is.
No, 100%.
But he's been going to shows since he was in his mama's belly. So it's.
Yeah, it's in him.
Yeah. Anyway,
Speak of your guys as wives, because they want to know if they're musically inclined. But also, this is a great part of the question: what's their favorite and least favorite songs you've been a part of? I mean, you met Lana. She's been in the music business, so
Y'all have got more
I wouldn't be
history.
writing songs if it wasn't for Lana.
right.
We've
You
been
go
married
ahead.
for
Y'all
30
have got more history. I'll
Well,
have to think
30
about
years, yeah. We've been married for 30 years.
What's Lana's favorite song?
Ooh, that's a great
Maybe
question.
maybe we need to have Lana on the
I know.
podcast.
Probably
Maybe I
a
could-
Melt would be up top.
Well,
right?
yeah,
because she's
that's
part of that story.
That song would not have been written
Rascal
for Rascal
Flatts.
Flatts. That was actually my first Rascal Flatts hit in 2000, I think.
What a great
somewhere.
song.
And it wouldn't have been written had she not. We're like doing an all-nighter, and it's like midnight at my house, and we're getting ready to pack up and go.
Speaking of writer's block,
Right? And, well, I'm tired, I go to bed at 7:45. She comes out of the bedroom and doesn't say a word. And I tell this story before I sing it on writers' rounds and stuff. But she comes out of the room and doesn't say a word and goes up to the mantle above the fireplace and lights 3 candles. Turns around, walks out, and hits the lights He goes back to bed. And then Wendell goes, when you light those candles up there on the mantle, set in the mood. That's how that song got started.
Isn't that crazy?
That's a great story.
If it wasn't for her, that song never would have been written.
Yeah.
I tell you what, you know, being absorbed in the music business, I love hearing those stories.
Yeah.
That.
Yeah, I think people love that.
That might be one of her favorites.
Okay.
To answer your question, There Goes My Life's probably.
Does she have one that she's like, babe, that wasn't your best?
Because I put both daughters in, like Emma Grace was in There Goes My Life.
And Allie, of
And
course,
Allie was in Tattoos.
Yeah.
I think.
Does Rachel have a
Rachel's-
least? I want the least favorite. I want the
Well, I
dirt.
don't know
Give us the least
I don't know
favorite.
the least favorite. I do know her favorite, but I don't know the least favorite right off. Maybe I'll think of it. But her favorite is Tough Crowd, which we all wrote together, is because it
Should have been a single.
It was
Should
really
have been a
very much
single.
her. It was really very much her idea. And
Right.
I told this a long time ago, but I think we only had 2 listeners then. But but anyway, I was watching a basketball game, pacing back and forth, and she was telling me something, and I was just watching it. And I guess I wasn't listening, and then she said something. You know, she said she just responded. She goes, "Wow, Tough Crowd." You know, and I turned around and said, "What'd you say?" She goes, "I said Tough Crowd. You weren't listening to me." I said, "That's brilliant. I love it." And I went back to watching the game. And then we thought about Tough Crowd being a song and all the things. So that's her favorite because she claims that's her.
See, that's
her
the
song.
key right there to all you people, aspiring songwriters out there, is always having your radar on. Most of the time that would have gone, nobody would have, but Kalo being the guy that he is, the light bulb went off as soon as she said it because his radar's up all the time.
You got to keep that up all the
You
time.
have to.
And you hear it for some reason, and everybody's heard that a million times. And for whatever reason, on that given night, when she said Tough Crowd, immediately I thought, oh, Tough Crowd. It's not an angry crowd. It's the people that are watching Aldine play.
Brilliant.
And they're blue collar, hardworking men and women, and so they're the tough ones.
There's another one you
know,
brought in. It's
so-
like, oh,
I love
But
that
anyway,
song.
that was
freaking great.
But you just heard that differently, but we heard it forever. It's just those things still excite me.
Yeah.
It's fun.
I love that.
Yeah.
What else we got here?
We could go on and on and
Yeah.
on of the stories behind the songs. I mean, we could really go on. We could probably do another whole episode about how we wrote
1,000%.
all the songs and where
Yeah.
they came from.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's actually, it's fun to talk about though. Cause it's, what makes you, or the reason why you write a hit, or, sometimes out of desperation, I love talking about, If I Didn't Love You, how that song would have never happened had we not had disappointment happen a week earlier.
How did Carrie get on that song? What was that?
that was I tell you what, right now, that was all Aldine. All when we ended up cutting that song, we tracked that song and with no idea who was going to be on it, if anybody. I think we had no idea who was going to come on it. Jason was like, I remember his manager was there and he's like, I want Carrie. And I think his manager's like, man, I don't think it's going to happen. Something like that, right, Kurt? I don't think anyone thought she was going to come on it.
Yeah, and
Just because of the way the music is, like, does she have a single out?
yeah, there's
Is
so
it-
many things beyond does she want to sing with Jason. There
Yeah.
are legalities things that have to go through singles rights. There's so many business aspects of it that people don't understand, that it's just not like, hey, do you want to come on a song with me? It's not that easy.
What'd y'all do when you found out she said yes?
Yes. Yeah, I mean, it was pretty
Right?
Well,
Yes.
I think one of the magic things to that song, though, is that we didn't know Carrie was going to come on it. I think we would have played it differently, subconsciously. I think
Even when you tracked it, you didn't know she was going to be
no,
on?
Oh, no.
Oh, really?
no,
Yeah.
we tracked it.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
We just tracked it, and we didn't play that thing more than we didn't play that thing more than 3 times, and it was. But because we didn't know who was on it, if anybody.
That's amazing that the key worked out and everything worked out.
Right.
No, you're right about that.
It was meant to be.
But like Charlie was going to say, if somebody had said, "Hey, Carrie's coming on this song," before we tracked it, we would have played it differently. We would
We
have.
might have
get
played it
that.
slicker without meaning to, but in subconsciously you think Carrie, okay, well maybe we should put this in her world here somehow. But she came into our world, and so it's got the track is very basic, but it's like a rock and roll track. Essentially, it's just really raw and guitars and eighth notes driving it, And so
I guarantee you that's why she loved it.
You
right
know,
there.
yeah, I think so. But it, like, you never know. And Carrie was never even. We had written another song that we thought could be a duet, and they were talking about getting an artist named Gabby Barrett to come on it. Song ends up going away. Mm-hmm. You know, and then next thing you know, Aldine's manager saying, "Hey, do you guys have anything that would be another duet song?" And we're like, "Damn, did we just?"
Yeah.
You know,
We just lose our chance at a
we
duet.
just lost our chance.
I've always found that when you try to write for somebody, it never works.
Yeah.
Instead of writing what
Very
you would
hard.
normally write,
Just write a good song.
It's hard to write on demand.
It's
Yeah.
I think no one understands that unless you're creative. I think people in the business, which is my main complaint about the music business, is that it's rarely run by music people. They're good people, but they've never really done it. So it's hard to relate to it when someone says, "Oh, we need a song like this." Okay. Well, I mean, I've never been part of a hit that wasn't genuine, really. So it's hard.
And when you try to, it's not fabricating, but when you try hard, you know,
hard.
to say, "Oh, we need a tempo of this."
Yeah, he wouldn't say that. I
Right.
can't ever think that way.
which was so, which still blows my mind about If I Didn't Love You, because that's the only time I can think where we used to write in the shack, literally a shack on Music Row. It was a garden where you keep garden tools, and that was our office. And I mean, it was a shack. And I remember texting Kurt like, "Well, we better get to the shack and try to write a duet." And so we went in there at 6:00 at night, called up our, John Morgan and Lydia Vaughn, who John writes for us, and Lydia, who we love. And we said, "Well, we're going to sit here for 4 hours or so. And if we don't give anything, we'll just leave." And walked out of there with "If I Don't Love You." Mm-hmm. But it was very rare that you.
Kalo used to do that. He used to do all-nighters with Brad Paisley. There's no way in hell I could do that.
But
Yeah.
but at least it's with an artist. The artist, right? Though,
Oh, yeah.
So you got a good shot at it.
It's a great shot, and he, like Aldine, is an artist that they do know exactly what they want to do. Now, we don't know what that is in the moment every time, but having the benefit of knowing exactly what they would do, what they would say, what they wouldn't say, is a huge benefit.
Yeah.
And like when you guys are saying it, like you don't like it, and like Neil's saying, you don't like if you say, "Hey, we need this type of song." Like for me, as an idea guy, it kind of helps. Like if somebody says, "Hey, I need a beer drinking summertime song," for me that helps because it narrows it to where, okay, I can think about that, as opposed to say just looking for hits, man. That's really hard for me. So I like it. I like
Up-tempo
having
hit.
I like having a little direction.
Yeah, I feel bad now. All those years producing, we used to say that, like, just send us great songs.
Great songs.
We used to say that.
Well, you're right. It is
It's true,
frustrating
though.
to hear that, but
What's a great song to you compared to somebody else?
Yeah.
It's always
And
different.
Yeah,
it is.
it's
I know what a great song is. I don't know what a hit song is, but I know what a great
well,
song
there's a difference. Yeah, it's
Yeah, you're right.
Everything has to align for that to happen. Like
It's just
a
kind
great
of funny.
song.
Like when you see that come across the pitch sheet and says looking for great songs, you can just leave the great out.
Radio hits.
I think we all know.
I know.
Like just say looking for songs because we all know it's got to be great or it's not getting recorded.
Yeah, shoot. I had an okay song I was going to send you.
Yeah.
Hey,
Send decent songs.
Thrash. By the way, they're calling you Thrash on the
Good.
gram
It's
here.
taken.
That's
Good.
cool.
I love it. It's like it's hitting. I love it, man.
Bob Shep, 329s, wants to know, has Thrash ever hunted in PA?
I have.
Oh, you have?
I have, yes. I've
What
turkey
have
hunted in PA.
Turkey hunt?
Yep. It was back when I was an artist. We were on radio tour in the Northeast. And one of the promoters, we were actually opening for Patty Loveless. For those of you
love
who
Patty
still,
Loveless.
yeah. We were opening for her. And we were in Pennsylvania at one of those really cool old Majestic theaters. And the promoter owned a bunch of land in Pennsylvania because he did that whole area. And hit him up one night, you got any, because it was turkey season in Pennsylvania when we were there. He's like, "Yeah, man, I got We got all kind of turkeys, and I went up there, went turkey hunting in Pennsylvania. It was awesome.
There you go.
Killed a turkey. It was awesome.
We got this one from Kurt Shatley, I think. It says, out of all the achievements and accomplishments y'all have, what is one dream that you would like to see happen does not have to be music related?
Wow.
Read that. What was the first part?
Just out of everything that
one
we do,
dream
the
or
accomplishments and all the stuff that
accomplishment
we're doing, is there something outside of that? Do you have a dream outside? It could be in the music, but it could be outside of music. Do you have a dream? Like, do you want to write a novel? Do you know what I mean? Like, they just want to know that.
Do you?
I have a bunch.
You do?
Oh yeah.
Give us one.
Yeah. I want to kill a deer that's over 200 inches, 200 inch.
What's standard?
That's a good one.
Inch?
What?
What's like a standard size?
Like 20 inches.
Well, it depends on that. It God.
That's my favorite question we've ever.
Over 200 inches. So what do you normally do?
Oh gosh, can you tell these guys don't hunt? Oh my Lord.
What's your standard?
Yeah, it's like this.
Typical dudes.
But you know what I'm saying? Okay, over 200 inches. So how big is a normal deer?
That's my favorite moment in 30 episodes.
I know, it's fantastic.
It's a good question. What's a standard inch?
Serious?
It's there for everybody, isn't it, Neil?
Oh God.
Yeah.
What's the average?
Yeah, what's the average?
What's your standard
Size.
average
It's
inch?
It's like, well, if you look at these deer on the wall right here,
Yeah.
like that one there is like 176. That's 176
See,
inches
there you
of
go.
bone.
176.
And you measure the width.
Okay.
I can't even get y'all are good out of my
width, the
brain.
girth.
now.
176 inches of bone.
You measure the main
The main bone.
Not very long, but wide.
you
Very
measure
wide.
the main beam,
Size
the
matters.
length of the main.
The main beam.
This is what.
Wow. Wow.
What are we, 10? Yes, we are.
Yeah.
What's the main bone measurement?
What's the main beam?
It shouldn't matter.
Yeah, I mean, if she,
And of course
if she
you
loves
measure-
you,
you
that's-
measure-
it shouldn't matter. If she
You
loves
measure
you.
the mass.
This is a first. Cut.
It's fantastic.
We're
amazing.
Anyway.
We are 13.
Yeah.
That's
Oh my gosh.
Well,
Oh my God! Anyway,
But that's what-
I
okay,
want to
you're back to your
kill a deer 200 inches or bigger.
okay. That's great. Kurt, what about you?
No,
Do you have a dream
go.
outside?
Go.
I'm still on the quest.
I want to invent something. I've got a couple ideas. I got to talk to Wade about.
Anything you want to invent?
No, I've got a couple ideas.
What are they?
I won't say anything. That's
You
like
want to
telling
invent
a good song.
something?
Yeah, it's like a product. I got a product or two. I got two products I want to kind of go after.
Does it matter if it's like successful or you just like say, "Oh, I created this."
No, I would want it to be successful. That's the whole.
You wanna go on Shark
point.
Tank and
but I
sell it.
want to. I don't know if about Shark Tank, but maybe I've got a couple thoughts I think would be helpful to mankind.
Wow.
I like it.
Yeah, so that's it.
That was a good laugh. That wasn't a laugh.
Yeah.
I don't think I have anything.
Certainly does not have the gift of encouragement.
I don't know if I have anything grand like that. Do you?
I have two things. Kayla's phone's going off.
Sorry. I'll be home shortly.
I still have.
This is running a little bit long.
Is that your people with your patent for your inventions?
They're calling me like they would like to get in on this.
I still two things. I mean, I still have aspirations of, cutting like a cool rock project and like having it be semi-successful. From our old days of playing some good rock and roll.
Right.
I still want to write some of those songs and make like a good rock project. And you don't have to tour on it or anything, but just create it and have people like it. And my second thing, I really want to own my own Irish bar.
Nice.
Yeah, that's my second.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
Welcome to Tully's.
It'd be a fun place.
Oh, it'd be fun.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Wow.
But those are my two things.
I actually don't think I have anything.
Nothing.
No,
really?
I really don't.
Yeah, you do.
I don't. Do I?
You do.
Help me. I guess I don't feel like I do.
You want to be on the PGA Seniors Tour.
I don't. I want to be successful. I do want to provide a good life for my family.
You could coach, baseball coach.
No, I really don't. Like, I just want to get to that point where I feel good about what I'm leaving for my family, and then just enjoy life. Like, I don't. I guess that's what it would be. I don't have the thing of like, God, I guess that makes me pretty boring. But
no, it just means
I can't think of something.
It means you're
that
settled.
You don't have any passions other than guitar playing.
You want to know? You want to know a horrible truth?
Yeah.
I don't have passion for playing the guitar.
You don't?
I don't.
Really?
I really don't. I'm sorry.
You're such a badass.
I'm going to say this though.
It's people. If I ever do tell people that, they're aghast.
It's because they take it the wrong way.
I get it. No, I get it.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I think what people, even some people in my family sometimes don't understand this is like we are very blessed, and I feel very fortunate and lucky even to be around this table with you guys. Like, it's incredibly talented people. Like, it's great. I'm very, very lucky and very blessed, but we are absorbed in it.
I know.
And when you're absorbed in it, the creative process, like Kurt creates some of the most amazing things I've heard on the guitar. It's amazing. I've come to expect it. Now this is weird though. It's true. You become numb to the amount of creativity that you're blessed to be around. I mean that in a good way. Like when we're writing a song or we're making a record or we're playing on stage, I tell them all the time, like, God, I really take that shit for granted.
We do.
Like,
well, we take each other for granted.
And I think the passion, it's different when that's the every second of your life. It's always there. You don't even think about it. Like, so, you know, the passion of playing guitar comes out of the pressure to create and have success. So the lines blur for me.
Yeah.
Between the passion and the success, because you can have passion, but you got to go work at the bank. Okay, their passion's this, but you're not good enough to do it. And then when you get to a certain point, those lines blur where it's passion, but also pressure to always keep performing. And I think the lines get blurry.
Yeah, and it's a good way to put it. And like people ask us all the time, like, what's your favorite music to listen to? Like, I don't listen to music. Like, I just don't. Like when I'm in the car, I don't listen to music.
I don't listen.
I don't either.
And I think people would be shocked to know that.
I know.
And it's not, I mean, because we grew up loving music, there is a love of music and there is passion for that. But
I know Kalo does the same thing feels the same way that I do sometimes, where I get mad at myself for not loving to write songs anymore. Sometimes I go through that sometimes where I'm like, I'm just doing it to try to make a living.
Because
instead of writing, trying to write a great song, I want to write something commercial that'll,
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, man, you were most successful when you wrote what you felt and you wrote passionate and you tried to write a good song. That's when I was the most successful. And then you find yourself you're chasing the money and you're chasing the charts.
Yeah.
it's a weird spot to be.
And then you going back to the writer's block thing, you can get stuck in it big time when your priority changes in your head.
Yeah.
With what you do.
Well, and talking about when we say we don't listen to radio, it's not that we don't like music. For me, I don't want to hear the radio and then come up with an idea later and wonder if it was from somebody else's song. Like, I don't listen at all just so I can be clear-minded, Yeah.
I find myself today listening to, I think older I get, I tend to reflect back on there's a point I think we all have where I remember I started playing bass around when I was 8, 9 years old. And I remember listening to music before then and listening to music after then. Because now ever since I started being absorbed with it from a young age, it's hard to listen to new music objectively because I only hear certain things.
Well, and I agree. And part of it's also producing because you listen to everything. Wow, I can't believe they use that shaker. Wow, they use this delay on that vocal. Wow, they did this, and you're not listening for the love of the music anymore.
Right. So I've been finding myself listening to music from the mid 70s and early 80s. It reminds me of when I just heard the songs.
Yeah.
And I can remember specific albums where I just heard the songs and what that was. And I try to get back to that because I can't hear anything today without hearing it, all the other, everything separated.
And that has a lot to do with what kind of engineer's mixing your song. I remember the days, my cousin, for instance, Pat.
Yeah.
He's like, he mixes the song. He doesn't mix the music. He mixes the song.
Yeah, he's good. He's great. Like
you know what
Yeah.
I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like he tries to, and I always admired him for that. He mixed the song instead of just the track.
Sometimes I wish I can go back and erase for a second and just hear a song, hear Boys of Summer again.
Yes.
Like without just listening to things in my head separated.
A wall of sound.
I remember listening to the Thriller album on repeat.
Oh gosh,
repeat,
over and over.
repeat. And what a glorious thing. And some people say, like, what do you like, to your point, like, what are you listening to? I'm like, man, right now I'm still listening to old rock and roll.
I know.
Synchronicity.
Hey, when I get in my car, I put on freaking Def Leppard, Hysteria. I think it's one of the best rock records ever made.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's great.
But,
it's pretty awesome. Any other questions? We probably pushed our time here, right?
No, they want to hear more. But
I know.
We can cut it off.
Luckily, we got more episodes to come.
Yeah.
It's been
I think
kind
it's
of
good.
fun.
It's been fun.
Yeah, we really appreciate you guys. Like we put out this post today. This will air in about a week or so.
and
But
Trump's still president, right?
Yes.
as far as we know,
Rest easy tonight.
something could have happened. But thanks for following us on the socials. It's at Try That Podcast. Follow us on all the social networks. And keep those questions coming because this is fun, right? I think
heck
people
yeah.
enjoy hearing us talk about
I'm having
behind
fun.
the curtain, as Neil says.
No, I'm having fun.
I love it.
Absolutely.
If you're watching on YouTube, leave us those comments. Make sure you like and subscribe. Kalo always reminds us to download. That's always a great thing. We want to thank Patriot Mobile for coming on. This is the Patriot Mobile Studios, and we are Try That in a Small Town Podcast. Thanks, guys.
Make sure to follow along, subscribe, share, rate the show, and check out our merch at trythatinasmalltown.com.